Thrive 2025. Yes, that's right. That's where I've been over the last weekend, looking at how to thrive better in 2025. I love these kind of events because what it does for me is that it gives me the opportunity to mix with like minded people. It gives me the opportunity to learn more about nutrition and how to look after my body better because we have these incredible nutrition system on how to look after ourselves. And it gives me the opportunity to expand and grow and explore new ideas, meeting new people, and focusing on what I want to do moving forward into my future as I step into my future. So, because I've just come back from the event, I'm very excited. As you can see, if you on the podcast, you won't be able to see, but I've got these lovely bright yellow glasses on right now. But I'm really excited to share with you the lessons that I've learnt from Thrive 2025. So don't go anywhere. I'll be with you very shortly and we'll get stuck into those lessons. Hey there, Tiff here. Welcome to Ambition Habits. As I said in the intro, we're going to be looking at the lessons that I've learnt through the Thrive event 2025. Like I said, I really enjoy going to these types of events because when you go to events like this, you not only mix with like-minded people, it actually you actually learn a lot about you, about what's going on for you, about what you want to be doing in the future. And it gives you that sense of planning on what you can do moving forward, and just opens your eyes and your ideas up to new things that you haven't thought about before. And that's what I love about these types of events, is that I love going for that, for learning something new. I've been to many events in the past, and even this one that I attended over the weekend, I was like, yeah, well, let's just be open, because I've been to plenty of events before, and I was like, usually I race up the front and sit right at the front, and I've got sitting at the edge of my seat, pen poised with the paper ready to go, ready to take lots of notes. And at this particular event, I was a bit more chilled. I was chilled for a couple of reasons. One is because I've been to a lot of events, in the past, of these types of events. And I was quite happy to just chill up the back and learn, not sit down the front. And really close friend of mine, or of ours, of our family, he was going to have a surgery, triple bypass surgery. So I was going for them as well, like our beautiful friends Paul and Suzanne. So I wanted to be there for our team and support what we're doing moving forward and all of that. But I didn't want to sit up the front and be totally engaged in that sense. I wanted to stay back and chill. But the thing that I wanted to make sure that I was going to be was open, and open to learning whatever comes my way. Not have the attitude as like, oh yeah, I've been to these types of events before. Yeah, big deal. Yeah, I've done that. Yeah, I've built belief. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. It was like, no, just be patient. It's like playing sport, right? You got to be patient. You got to be open. You got to focus and stay in the moment, and just be open in the sense of what is presented before you, and then how you deal with that moving forward. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share my lessons learned from the event and how we can apply them to also sport. Obviously, you can, whatever you apply to sport, you can apply to life. But we're going to look at these lessons on how to transfer them into sport, and then you're going to go and hopefully use some of these lessons that I've shared with you and move forward in accomplishing your dreams in your sport and building confidence in you. Okay, so here we are. We were at the Gold Coast for the Thrive event, the event was run at the island of the Gold Coast, and here we go. These are the lessons that I have learnt from that. So the first one was imagine the vision. And the thing that you want to do around that is really imagine what you want to see. And you want to be really clear in what it is that you want to see. So, what I liked about a particular presenter was he was talking about, like, he's very visual. So, he would draw out what he wanted to see as his as what he wanted to come true, right? So he shared he's a surfer, and he wanted to surf in the dark in Hawaii on like a 60-foot wave, and all the planning and everything that went around that. But what he would do is he would create a storyboard, and he would open up this storyboard of visuals of what he saw, what it looked like to him. And he ended up having a photo of him surfing on this wave at night with the moon in a particular spot. And he'd already had drawn that image of what he wanted to see. So the thing here is, like, whatever your image is or whatever your vision is that you want to see, it's about you drawing what you see, right? You get it out of your head, and so that you can see it clearly. So I took that on board. So what I did was, when I got back home, I started to create images. So as you can see here, I've done like a t-shirt, how I want ambition habits to look like on the front, and on the back, you see I drew that. Another one around the caps, what I want to do to create hats for ambition habits. But also I've got a big dream, and I want to play for Australia in lawn bowls. I want to go to the Commonwealth Games. So here I am at 54. I never thought that I'd get to the age of 54 and have a dream of wanting to compete at the Commonwealth Games. I thought my time was over. So, yep, that's me. Can you see the likeness? Me wearing the team colours and wearing the shirt of Team Australia, and then winning the gold medal at the Commonwealth Games. So I thought that would be really important to share that with you, is because the impact that had on me, what I saw from these images that Mark, our presenter, who was this huge surfer who had incredible fears and so on around water, and who was able to accomplish what he accomplished. I was like, yeah, actually, I've got all these ideas and things that I want to create, but I'm not getting them out of my head. I can see them, but I want to see them on paper. And usually I just write stuff out. But I'm like, no, I've learnt to draw a little bit. So I thought, let's draw, because it doesn't matter what the drawings look like, right? It's only for me to see them. Well, now you've seen a couple, but it's only there for me to see them. So the whole idea is what you want to get out of this is you want to make sure that you're getting that vision of what you see yourself as, get it out of your head and put it on paper in some form, whether it's pictures that you can download of photos that you've taken of where you've been or what you've done, or you want to cut and paste and put things standing next to you about what you have wanted to accomplish. But start creating some of those visuals so you can actually see it. That was a really, really impactful talk that I sat in on. That was just to create that vision and to see that vision. So remember, you want to draw what you see or create the pictures of what you want to see. Get it out of your head so you can actually physically see it. Number 2 lesson, be all I can be in this moment. And that's it. It's just being the best that I can be of me in each moment. So how can we relate that back to sport? Well, being all that you can be in this moment. What is it? What does that mean? To me, it means just doing the best, staying focused, being zoned in. I've done all the work that I have done. I've prepared myself for what I need to do to make this shot actually happen. And all I can do is be present, be totally present, create the shot, let go of any fears, any doubts, any hesitation that I have, and just be and do it. So when you're out there participating in your sport, are you in the moment? Are you staying focused on what you need to do? Or are there other things that creep in? For me, I know that, like I've taken up lawn bowls this year, well, over the last 12 months, and now I've got this dream of wanting to play at the Commonwealth Games and compete for Australia and all of this sort of stuff. And I notice, which would have come up in other sports that I've played over the years in golf and tennis, and I notice there's hesitation there. I feel it, I sense it. I hear myself talking to myself about the hesitation that I feel, right? Fear of not getting it right, right? Fear of not getting the bowl close enough to the jack, fear of making a mistake that creeps in. So what I am purely focusing on while I'm doing my training is just focusing, being in the moment, doing the best that I can, and being the best of me that I can in that moment. If I don't get it right, it's okay, because I've got another chance that I can do it again. I keep practicing that so that I can improve on that and improve on that. So when it's time to then come into competitions and compete, I know that I can do that because I've been working on that. Number 3, what am I willing to let go of to be the best version of myself? So the question then becomes is like, what is at the top of your mountain, and what does that best version of you look like? It's a good question, isn't it? What is at the top of your mountain? What is the best version of you look like? I know for me, the best version of me is going all out, putting the work, putting the effort in, staying focused, letting go of the worry, letting go of the hesitation, letting go of the self-doubt, letting go of the fear of failure, letting go of the fear of disappointment. I had all of that when I was, especially in my tennis career, when I was 20, right? Had this massive dream of being this incredible tennis player and achieving these amazing goals. But I had so much fear on the inside, so much worry, so much doubt, that I wasn't able to bring out the best version of me because I didn't know how to do that. I did the work in the sense of the physical work. I trained really, really hard, but I didn't realize that the best version of me was still stuck down here in my heart, waiting to burst out, but it just didn't know how to come out. Whereas now, I like all the work that I've done on me over the last 20 years, especially on understanding why I thought myself and found myself as a failure in sport, especially in my tennis world. Then I was able to deal with what was going on for me then, and then how to move forward in creating the best version of me, how to let go, how to let go of the disappointments, how to let go of the failures, how to let go of the worry, how to let go of not worrying about not performing the perfection every single time I stepped onto the court, right? So those are the things, and I'm still working through that now. Even the new sport, like I teach golf and I teach tennis, and now I've taken up a sport to play for myself, lawn bowls, which I absolutely love because there's so many different challenges around that. But I'm noticing there's a lot of those areas that come up when I'm playing, so it's great. I'm excited that I'm discovering what's coming up for me, because then I know how to deal with it. It's like, yep, okay, yep, I'm hesitating here. Why is that? Because I'm worried about making a mistake. Okay, well, don't feel the fear and do it anyway, right? Let go of that. Be the best version of me. Get out there and practice. Do the drills, right? Do the reps, and keep focusing on how I can improve that, so I can let go of the fear, let go of the doubt, let go of the hesitation. Number 4, get really good at what you do. Okay, so my 2 greatest passions, my number 1 passion, and I've had it as a kid, is playing sport all day. It's all I want to do, right? So I was playing sport all day as a kid. I absolutely loved it, lived it, breathed it, played every sport that you could possibly imagine. Tennis was my big love. But I just wanted to play sport all day, every day. And now here I am, I've arrived in my 50s, and I'm like, that's all I want to do. I love, of taking up lawn bowls. It excites me so much for the way in which got to get consistent. You've got to get your line right. You've got to be accurate. There's a lot of strategy involved. There's all those mental things that you've got to contend with. There's, playing next to your opposition side by side, how you deal with that, right? And I love it. And I love playing sport all day. I just love it. And that's a big thing that I've always wanted to do, was get back to that where I could just play sport all day. My second greatest passion is to build confidence in women to reach their potential in their sport, because I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be worried and fearful and hesitate and have self-doubt. I've been there. I've experienced it. I've been at the lowest lows. I remember losing a tennis match when I was 19 years of age, and I had worked my heart out leading up to this tournament, and I played a top player, in Australia, and she just carved me up, and the reason she carved me up was because I allowed that to happen, because of the fear and the doubt and the worry. And I didn't know how to deal with that mentally. And I went around to the clubhouse at the back and bawled my eyes out, cried for 2 hours straight, cried. No one knew, but I cried and cried and cried my heart out, because I was so devastated, because I didn't have the confidence in me to reach my potential in my sport. So, like I said, my biggest passions is playing sport all day, and I will want to do that till the day I die, and building confidence in women to reach their potential in their sport, because it is possible. Number 5, if you want to go far, go with a team. Now, you've heard this many a time, I'm sure. There's no I in team. But if you do want to go far, you do need a team of people around you. So I didn't actually realize how important it was to have a team around me, especially, as a kid growing up. I'd have a tennis lesson, you're all on your own, off you go, play singles and what have you. Yep, played doubles, played in comps with teams and all of that sort of stuff. Played hockey, played soccer, rowing, all of that, softball, all of that was team orientated. Yep, got that. But majority of the time, me being a tennis player was a very individual thing. Then years later, I took up golf. Again, very individual thing. So I was used to being on my own. I was used to working on accomplishing things on my own. I was used to being self-motivated, because I did it all on my own. But I didn't realize also that being on my own held me back too. I didn't have the right team of people around me to help me move forward. And I'm not saying that you have to have like a big team around you. Your team could be, people that you listen to in podcast episodes, right? Or courses that you've done, where you've done a great course through a coach that you admire, and have participated in one of their coaching programs or something like that, right? But what you need to do is you need to have the right people around you that's going to help you move forward in accomplishing your dream. You can't do this alone. So I have people that come and have lessons with me for golf, because they can't do it alone. They can't figure out what's going on for them. I have people that come to golf tours that I run, and they absolutely love that, because I create a team environment. It's not you versus me, or us versus them, or her versus her. It's a team environment, and we work as a team in improving our particular areas in our sport. We are not alone, right? And then what then happens is this amazing community is built, and then they become friends. They feel like they've been friends for a much longer time than just a week, because we build that environment around them. So the thing that you want to make sure is that you have the right team of people around you that's going to help you in moving forward. I've got that now. I've got the right team of people around me in moving forward for my bowls career, right? I've got some great people that I practice with, that I hang out with at the bowling club, or the bolo, as we call it here in Australia. I have the training. I know the type of training I need to do. I have the right type of nutrition, because I work with a nutritional company that helps me understand what the right nutrition is for me, in order to not only for just good health in the sense of body, mind, soul, that kind of thing, but also for better performance. But also as I'm getting older too, the importance of having the right protein in the body and the type of protein that you need to be putting in the body and building muscle so that I don't get sick. And, there's all these things that are going on. I've got a great bowls coach who I absolutely respect. Him and I are on the same wavelength, and it's great. Doesn't suit everybody, right? But I'm progressing quickly because I'm got the right team in place for me in moving forward. So my question then to you is, who's on your team? Who's on your side? Who's going to be there to help you accomplish your goals in your sport in moving forward? Who's going to be there in helping you build confidence in you in moving forward so that you can accomplish your sports dreams and goals? Number 6, most successful people operate from their heart. Beautiful, isn't it? Operating from your heart. See, you can be kind, you can be generous, you can be loving. You don't have to be an asshole. Sorry, I hope I'm allowed to say that to you. But you don't have to be an asshole, right? Or a, bitch, right? In moving forward. You can love, you can be caring, you can be supportive. Because if you're that way inclined and you're supportive and loving and caring, then a lot of that comes back to you. If you're not such a nice person, then that's going to be then reflective to you that you're not going to get the nice things coming back to you either. There's a great saying called the world is a mirror of what you see. And if your world and you look out and it is miserable and it is dark and it's me versus you and I've got to take what I can from you because I'm going to beat you and and I'm going to be nasty to you and you're my competitor and I'm going to eat you up, then you're going to reflect, that's going to reflect back to you, right? That's going to come back to you. And you're not going to get any support. And you're going to get people talking about you behind your back. And you're going to get people that don't want to mix with you, that don't want to spend time with you, that don't want to be around you, right? You're going to alienate yourself because you're being such a you-know-what. But if you have this beautiful kindness within and you have this beautiful love within and you're generous and you do want to help others, and you'll find that will come back to you. And you can still be the competitor that you want to be. You just don't have to be an asshole about it, right? You can be kind, you can be generous, you can be loving. I love the fact that I've learned all of this over the years, that I don't have to be a biatch, right? B-I-T-C-H. I don't have to. I don't want to be. I do love and care for people. Yes, I want to win. Yes, I want to win, matches that I play, and I want to do well, of course. But I don't have to be an asshole about it, right? So I just want you to be thinking about, can you come from a different place and be that successful person that you want to be, but be kind and loving about it versus the opposite. Number 7, override the fear. Use the fear that you feel and turn it into your superpower. Now, that was hugely impactful because this guy, Mark Visser, who was talking about how he wanted to surf this wave, 60-foot wave in Hawaii in the dark, he was talking about all the fears that he had to conquer in doing that. And he said he was terrified of the water when he was 3, fell in a sheep trough. Luckily, his brother got out, but he said he didn't have a bath for a year after that, refused to get into the water because he had this huge fear of water. Then he showed a photo of him going to Nippers at 10, and he had to swim out to one of the dads that was waist level. And he said it took him so long to get out there that the next group of kids were coming, and they had to rush him off. But over time, he was building that resilience and overcoming that fear in his fear of water, because he became a surfer, right? Epic surfer. And he, even in this period of leading up to him surfing this wave that he wanted to surf at night, with a team of people around him, all doing the things that they needed to do, they would blindfold him and throw him in the pool and have all these obstacles around him that he had to figure his way how to get out of them in the dark, right? Blindfolded. Of course, it was, managed properly and so on, that he was able to do that, so they could keep an eye on him. But he needed to know how to do that because he was going to be surfing in the dark, right? He said, about the fear of sharks. So one of the team said, all right, well, we'll overcome that. We'll throw a line down out in the ocean where, all the sharks, hang out. And what we'll do is you have to swim, free dive down to 100 feet through the dark, so that you can overcome your fear of sharks. So that's what he did, those types of things to help him overcome that fear. Now, for me, that fear is a bit different. I don't need to go and surf a wave in the dark in Hawaii at 60 foot, and I don't need to go swimming with the sharks. It's not a thing that I really want to overcome. I'm not worried about that. But the fears that I want to make sure that I'm overcoming is the fear of failure, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of hesitation, the fear of not trusting myself, the fear of making mistakes, right? That come up for us when we play sport. Sometimes we don't execute the way we want because we're fearful that it's not going to work. And then when we're fearful that it's not going to work, it's not going to work anyway. So the thing is working through on how you're going to deal with that. How are you going to deal with those decisions that you make, and you go with that anyway? Because whatever decision you make, there is the fear that it may not work out. How will you deal with that, right? Do you trust the decisions and go with it? Or do you have the doubt and not go with that, right? So what I want you to be thinking about is like, whatever those fears are for you that are coming up for you, what is it that you can do to work on moving through those fears and use those fears as your superpower? So for me, the biggest fear that I've always had is fear of disappointment, fear of failure was a huge one, fear of making mistakes. So now, like into a new sport into my life, all of that comes up. And now I'm learning to let go of that fear. Right. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake. If I make the wrong decision, I make the wrong decision. It's okay. It's just feedback. That's all it is. I'm just getting feedback about what's going on. Right. The fear of hesitation. That's been a big one. I'm hesitating. Why am I hesitating? Because I'm fearful that I'm going to make a mistake. I have to let go of that. So whatever your fears are that are coming up for you when you're playing your sport, acknowledge that they're there, and then create a way in what you're going to do in how you're going to overcome them. 8, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. So these challenges, no matter how big or small, if you have the courage to take the step, you will learn, grow, and evolve. So what are the challenges that you feel that you're facing right now? Like I was talking about, like with regards to the fears around sport, like how you're going to perform, fear of failure, fear of worry about how you're going to go, fear of letting others down, fear of not being good enough, right? So how are you going to use those fears and turn them into the challenges, right? So if we look at that, like worrying about, gee, I'm not going to be able to bowl the ball down to a jack versus, worrying about being eaten by a shark surfing in the dark on a 60-foot wave, they're different, aren't they? Right? But like I said, it doesn't matter if they're big or small. They're important to you. So you have to look at how are you going to turn that challenge into something where you're going to grow, something where you're going to learn, something where you're going to evolve. I want you to really be looking at that. The big thing I always find, like in sport, is anything that happens, you want to be looking at, good or bad, you want to be looking at feedback. What's the feedback that you get from that? Do you keep going down that same path and keep repeating that? Or do you learn from that feedback, and then do you evolve yourself so that you can move forward and progress? Okay. I'm not scared of learning new stuff, right? I go to a bolo where it's very traditional. This is how you do it. I'm doing different types of drills. I'm doing different types of techniques, very much out of the box. Makes people feel uncomfortable. Well, it did early on. Now they're used to me, right? I'm doing different drills that they've never seen before. Right? Most people don't do drills in lawn bowls, but I want to progress, right? I want to evolve. I want to get to the heights that I've always wanted to get to in a sport. I've been dreaming of competing at a high level of sport all my life. And here I have now at the age of 54 the opportunity, and it's early days yet, but the opportunity for me to set a new goal to compete in the Commonwealth Games and be the best bowler in the world. Why not? Why not? If I can make that dream come true, which I'm going to do my bestest to make that dream come true, why can't you go after whatever it is that you want to go after? Don't let things hold you back. Learn, get feedback, grow, evolve. Okay? That's what you got to do. Lesson number 9, we get to choose how we want to thrive today. So the question I've got for you is, what does your world look like for you today? What is it that it looks like for you? Most people will get up in the morning and go through the same old, right? Same old rituals that they normally do. Get up out of bed, go to the bathroom, brush their teeth, get a coffee or get a tea or whatever it is, have a drink, go off and do whatever they need to do, think the same way, operate the same way, hoping that one day things will change, right? But you get to the choice in how you want to feel within, right? Sometimes you might be committed to a job, possibly a job that you don't like. You might be committed to doing certain things that you don't really want to do. But if you make the choice in your mind of how you want to thrive today inwardly, that can make all the difference. That can change what goes on around you. Like I said, the world is a mirror of what you see. So if you're seeing your world as drab, boring, holding you back, never going to make it, then that's what you're going to see when you look out. And I can tell you that when I was approaching 50, I dreaded turning 50 when I was 40, right? It was 10 years away. And as I got closer and closer to turning 50, it was freaking me out. Like the year of 2020, right? So we had all these things happen in 2020, as we know, but I was turning 50 that year, and I was freaked out about turning 50 because all I saw my life as failure and disappointment. Now, people will say, wow, you've done so much, right? I played professional tennis. I had tennis coaching business, sports skills business for kids. I did real estate. I learned golf. I became a golf coach. I take women around the world playing golf, right? Now, but to me, I hadn't accomplished what I thought that I should have accomplished by the time I was 50. So therefore I saw myself as a failure and a disappointment. So when I looked out in the world, that's all I saw. My husband, who's the most beautiful man, kept saying to me, I can't help you. I don't know what's wrong. Because I spent the next 3 months bawling my eyes out about how disappointed I was in me and how much I saw myself as a failure, because that's what I thought on the inside, right? Now, I had done a lot of work from the age of 36 to the age of 50 working on my mindset, but then I turned 50 and then I fell apart because I didn't think that I was good enough, that I didn't think that I had accomplished what I had planned in my head. Because I couldn't see it, therefore I saw myself as a failure and a disappointment. I thought I'd be further along the path than I was by now, right? And then I got to work again, and I went to work on working on me again and stripping back the layers, stripping back the perceptions that I kept putting onto myself, like putting sunglasses and more sunglasses and more sunglasses on, right? Of these different types of people that I expected that I should be. But I was layering up with all these different perceptions, and I didn't realize how much that was affecting me. So I went through a process of actually stripping back those sunglasses and taking them off one by one till I was a raw canvas again. And I was like, okay, now what can I do moving forward? Takes a lot of guts to do that. But I didn't want to keep living feeling the failure, feeling the disappointment of not accomplishing the goals that I thought I should have accomplished by the time I turned 50. And now moving forward, here I am 54. I laugh at the thought of me going through that process, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me because it got me to wake up, got me to snap out of it, and got me to start looking at what is it that I can do in moving forward to create purpose in my life, for me to get excited about things in my life. Took a few years to get there though. I'm not saying that it was just after 3 months and I was great. It's been a process, and it's a daily process. And every morning I wake up, I know how I want to feel. I know how I want to thrive, right? I know what I need to do to make me feel good. So that's what I want you to understand is what is it that you're going to do each day that's going to make you feel like you're going to thrive within, thrive on the inside. What does your day look like for you on the inside mentally? Okay. Number 10, be the author of your life. So each year is a chapter. And what do those chapters look like for you? And each day is a page. How do those pages read to you? So how do you want each chapter to look in your life? How do you want each chapter to look in your sport? How do you want each page to look every day in your sport and in your life? How do you want to feel? Right? Do you want to thrive? Do you want to be excited? Do you want to do the work on you mentally so that you see this incredible world every time you look out? Or do you want to feel miserable and feel like you're never going to make it and you're never going to be good enough? I've been there. I understand that. I know what it's like to feel like you're never going to be good enough. You're never going to make it. You're having yourself on. I know. I know that because I've been that. I've lived that. But I've come out the other side. So the question then comes to you is like, how do you want to be? What does each page in your life look like, right? Each day, what does it look like to you? What does each year look like to you? Because the thing is like if we create great pages, right? So we create great days for ourselves every day, even if we're doing some things that we're not overly keen on doing, but mentally, right? Inwardly, we know how we want to feel. That's going to, over time, accumulate and create these incredible years for us. And then you're accomplishing all these amazing things for yourself because of how you choose to show up on what your days look like, right? Those pages in your life and what those chapters look like, those years in your life. Number 11, create a space that nurtures you. So what do you do each day that nurtures you? So the big thing I think that we feel that we have to do is because we have busy lives, we have to get up, get going and do, right? And the thing that you want to make sure that you're doing is you're looking after you. So if you're competing in sport, you know how important it is to look after your body. You know how important it is to train. You know how important it is to feed your body the right nutrients. You know how important it is for mindset and your attitude and what it needs to be. You know how important it is to have the right skills in place. But what are the things that you do on a daily basis that nurtures you? Like for me, what nurtures me is in the morning when I wake up is to do a meditation. I like to have this beautiful golden light that runs right through my body and keeps my body healthy and creates abundance through my life. I love that feeling. And then I go and train at the gym again, because that makes me feel good. That makes me feel good mentally. It makes me feel good because I'm doing something for my body. I'm not so stiff. The other thing too, as you get older, you get a bit more stiffer. So I noticed, like when I was 20s and 30s, not so didn't have to worry about stretching and doing lots of mobility work and all of that sort of stuff. As I especially got around 45, I noticed I started to get a bit more stiffer in the body. Here I'm at 54. I noticed that, quite frequently. So I love to nurture me. I love to train at the gym and do what I need to do, strength training wise, mobility wise, stability wise, stretching, making sure that I'm very mobile, right? So that I don't have the stiffness. I also make sure that I have and feed my body the right food, right? The right nutrients that it needs in moving forward to give me the longevity so that I can outlast people that I compete against. I mean, I don't know if you've seen bowlers, the lawn bowlers. There's a lot of overweight people that play lawn bowls that are playing at quite a high level. And I'm like, how does that happen? That doesn't make sense to me. So I want to make sure that I'm, physically strong, mentally strong, nutritionally balanced, right? Biomechanically efficient, as I call it. I want to make sure that that's in place so that I can outlast people. But I do that because that nurtures me as well, because it makes me feel good. So I want you to be thinking about what are the things that you are doing in your life and in your sport that makes you feel good, that nurtures you, because you've got to look after yourself. It's so, so important. Number 12, wake up each day and make others better version of themselves. So this is what I do. I build confidence in women in sport. So I have coaching, I've got programs, live events, podcasts, videos, all of that for Ambition Habits. And I do that because I want people to feel good about themselves. I want you to feel good about yourself. I want you to accomplish your sports dreams. I want you to feel like you're achieving whatever it is that you need to be achieving in your sport. But not only that, I want you to feel good in your life, because how we are in sport is going to be how we are in life as well. And I can give you the prime example is like when I was, late teenager, 17, 18, 19, turning 20, very poor opinion of myself. So when I got out on the court to play tennis, I'm surprised I won as many matches as I did, to be honest, because I would beat myself up the whole time when I was playing sport. I'd be really giving myself a really hard time when I was playing sport because I never thought I was good enough. And then I was like that in my life. I was like that at school. I was like that at home. I was called the grumpy teenager, the moody teenager, all of that. But I was frustrated because I was so down on myself. I had such low self-esteem, but I didn't know how to deal with all of that. Then moving forward to where we are now, I come across super confident, very comfortable with myself, good at sport, all of that. Yes, but I do believe I've been given a gift with sport, and I feel very grateful and fortunate for that. But I've done the work, right? I've worked on me to create the kind of person that I want to become. So all that experience and those highs and very, very lows that I've been through in my sport is that I know that I can help you in moving forward in your sport and build that confidence in you, because I know how to get to that confidence level because I've been where you might be at right now, not thinking that you're good enough, never think you'll make it. It's really tough about what you're going through at the moment. You're finding that, you sometimes feel you get to the point that you just don't want to play the sport anymore. You're losing the love for the sport. I get that. I've been through that. I understand that. It's tough. But we need to find ways in which you can then build that confidence in you and fall back in love with your sport, fall back in love with the process of practice, fall back in the love with the process of competing, fall back in the love with you, right? Because at some point you would have loved you when you're a little baby, that happy little giggly baby, that we just roll around on the floor and we're excited that we can finally get up and walk around, right? At some point you are happy in your life. So we need to get back to that and be confident and enjoy what you're doing in moving forward in your sport. Enjoy the process, enjoy being you and learning to love you. Number 13, moving slower equals heart space. Look at those two little pussycats. We've got two pussycats. If you're on the podcast show, you won't see this if you're listening to the podcast. But there's two little cats, and their little tails form a love heart together. So you are more connected with you when you slow down. So in this day and age, and it's getting worse, I see it's getting worse as it goes on, is that it's all about being busy, busy, busy. Everyone's busy. Everyone's in a rush. I mean, I go to the gym and people sort of, fly past you because they've got to get out the door. And you go into the women's locker room and like all the locker doors are wide open because people don't even have the time just to close the door, right? They're gone out the door, running out the door. And you'll find that when you play sport, it's not about you rushing. It's about you being in control. It's about you taking your time. It's about you slowing down and being in the moment, right? It's about you taking a breath, getting set, perform your shot, right? That's what it's about. And so people come from, like doing their training or wherever they've been, rushing. And I see this all the time, like at golf, for example. People rush, 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 get to the golf course, tee off they go, rush, 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 rush. And it takes them 3 holes, 6 holes, even 9 holes to slow down. Because whether you've noticed or not, even though the world around us is getting faster, the sport's not changing. Yes, the technology in the sport is advancing, which is great. But you've still got to be in the moment. You've still got to be in control. You've still got to be slower and let the movement happen. Even I notice this in lawn bowls. If I go slower through the movement, I perform the shot better. If I go faster, it doesn't come off so well. Right? So what I want you to make you aware of is if you actually move slower, you're going to get more control. You get more control, you're going to perform better. So my question to you is, are you in that space already of moving slower so that you can get more connection with what you're doing? Or are you still just blindly just throwing yourself at it and wondering why there's no progression going on, wondering why that you keep making those mistakes? I want you to really think about that. Remember, moving slower equals heart space. Number 14, be curious. So the thing that you want to be doing is you always want to be asking questions. You want to know what's going on. Why do you want to know what's going on? Because you want to know how to improve, how to perform better, right? So if you don't know something, ask the question. Get help. Get advice. I mean, we live in such an incredible digital age now, the information age, where you can just jump on the internet and look something up and it'll find the information for you. Couldn't do that 20 years ago or maybe even 30 years ago, right? It's come a long way. So the thing is you want to be so curious to get your questions answered so that you are progressing. So for example, I'll give you a really good example right now, like in lawn bowls for me, is there's particular things in ways in which you can find your, like your draw line, your on-shot line, your drive line, and so on. Now, the coach that I've been working through, who I have huge respect for, doesn't really explain it in the way that I can understand it. We've finally had a breakthrough, but he's been talking to me about it for 12 months. And I'm like, I just don't get it. I've had some breakthroughs with it recently, right? But because I didn't understand it, like in his methodology on how he works it out, I still kept asking the question. And he kept saying, if you don't understand, keep asking me the question. He found a better way to explain it to me because I'm very visual. I don't know about you, but I learn really well from seeing and then touching and feeling, like actually doing stuff. So the thing is like he created these things for me to show me how to work it out. so that I could see it and then I could then go and work on it and practice it, right? So we've got some things that have been set up to do that. So the same when I teach people, right? When I coach people is like, okay, ask me the questions. I'm here to help you. I'm here to give you the answers. If I don't know what they are, we'll figure them out together. But I've got people that come to me that are just so lost in, they're just not aware on what they need to do. I want to empower them that they don't need to keep coming back to me though and keep asking the same question. I want to show them the path so that they know what they need to do and then they can go and work on it. And if it does fall apart, they know how to fix it. But the other thing is, I want you to ensure, like from this lesson as well, as be curious. Don't be afraid to keep asking the same question over and over again. Keep asking it till you get it. You know, I get people that say to me, oh, Tiff, this is going to be a stupid question. No question is stupid. Keep asking. Keep asking until you understand it. Keep asking until you get it. Because I want you to be curious. I want you to improve. I want you to have that beautiful confidence in you so that you can accomplish your dreams in your sport and anything else that you want to do in your life. Number 15, create your escape room. So where is your room to escape to? And you can then plan your future. I actually love that. Planning your future, escaping to somewhere where you wouldn't normally go to, creating a space in which you probably wouldn't go to too often, because you are too busy. You've got to get all these other things done. So this presenter, Lloyd Ross, that I was listening to on the week, he was the last speaker of the event, and he's probably the one that I've had the most impact on me. Like I said to you, went in on the Friday going, okay, let's just be open and let's see what happens. And I had a massive breakthrough at the last speaker on the Friday afternoon at like 1:30 in the afternoon was when it had a huge impact on me. But he was talking about how him and his wife, what they were doing in planning their future, in moving forward to what they wanted to accomplish in their life, was they'd sit in the car for an hour in the driveway when they got home from work, because they didn't want to keep living the lifestyle that they were living. They didn't want to be burnt out, and they didn't want to be tired, and they didn't want to be living their life just working all the time. They wanted more from their life. So what they would do is they would sit in the car and plan out what they were going to do in moving forward, because they knew as soon as they went through the front door, they were just going to get on with what they normally get on with when they get through the front door. And I was like, yeah, that's a really good idea. And I thought, well, I don't really want to sit in the car, but it doesn't matter where you go. It's as long as you create a space for you. So the last couple of nights since I've been back home, I'm going to bed earlier. And what I do is I put something on the iPad so I can just listen to something in the background, and I've started drawing. So what I'm doing is I'm drawing my future. I'm planning my future. I want like I said in the very first lesson, was about the vision, creating the vision, seeing the vision. So what I've started to do is I've started to draw my vision of what I see myself as. Don't care about what the pictures look like in the sense of whether they're drawn correctly. It's getting that picture out of my mind, and then I am seeing that so that I know what I need to be planning in moving forward. So I want to be asking you the question is like, what are you going to be doing, or where are you going to escape to, so that you can keep working on those plans of what you want to accomplish in moving forward, right? So that safe space, like that space, I like being in the bedroom because I can meditate too. I can draw, I can meditate, I can think about what it is that I want to happen in my future. If I'm outside, my hubby loves to watch the TV, he loves to watch the news, he loves to watch crime shows, all of that sort of stuff. I want to, and he's at a different stage in his life than me too, by the way. I have an older husband. So I'm not at that stage in my life. I don't want to be like that when I'm his age anyway. But what I do is I escape to the bedroom early. He's having a joke with me. Oh, you're going to bed now at 7:30. Yep, I'm going to bed. And I go to bed and I draw, and I go to bed and I meditate, and I go and I get things out of my head so I can see what my vision of my future is going to look like, right? Because I want that to happen. So I've done so many drawings already. If you've been watching this 5 video, you would have seen a couple already, but I've done quite a few since. Here's one that I did last night. Speaker on stage around the world. Dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams. That's what I always say at the end of my talks. The hair's pretty similar, I guess. A little bit like a werewolf in that picture, but it's me speaking on stage, sharing the vision, sharing the dream, going after what it is that you want in your life, right? So I'm getting those visions out of my head that have been in there for so long. I'm putting it on paper because one day I'm going to see it in a photo. I'm going to see all those things that I've written, that I've drawn in this book that I've created, is I'm going to see it in a photo and go, yep, I've done it. So the question for me that I have for you is, what's your space, your escape room that you're going to escape to so that you're planning and working on your future in your sport and even in your life? Number 16, build the potential that lives inside you. Bring out your inner lion and be the queen of your jungle, or the king of your jungle, however you want to see yourself. But that's me, right? I'm a Leo. I was born in August. I see myself as a lion. And it was really incredible. This event that I went to at Thrive 2025, and that last speaker, and right at the very end, we're just talking about bringing out what it was in your heart. And I saw myself as this lion that had been caged, and I love to be free, right? So we went on I'm just going to digress for a second, but we went on a cruise a few years ago because my hubby likes to do some cruising, and I'm not a big fan, but anyway, I did that for him. But I felt trapped. I felt trapped because I was on a lion bobbing around on the ocean in the middle of nowhere. Does not feel free. A lion feels trapped, right? Nowhere to go. Whereas as soon as we came back, I virtually kissed the ground because I was back on the earth, right? I was back on the land and I could roam the land because that's how I like to be, right? That's that lion inside of me, is that I love to roam the land, but I love to be the queen of my jungle. I love that I'm super confident. I love that I'm going after what I want in my life. I love making a difference in other people's lives, right? I love helping you build confidence in you and accomplishing your dreams. But I have this lion burning inside of me that's been so desperate to get out. And when we went through this process on the weekend, I could feel this lion of me coming up out of my heart. And we had to scream out, and I was roaring like a lion. I loved every second. And it brought out so much emotion in me. I had tears streaming down my face. But that was how I see myself. I see myself as the queen of my jungle. Let the lion roar inside. Let the lion come out and roam the land and be who you want to be and accomplish what you want to accomplish, right? Go out there and just do it. Take it. Make it happen. Plan your escape room, right? Let go of the fear. Go for it. Don't let anything hold you back. And that's what I love about these events, is because you have the freedom to be you. You have the freedom to roar like a lion if you want to. You have the freedom to grow. You have the freedom to learn. You have the freedom to evolve. So what is it that you're going to do that's going to bring out the queen or the king of you and be that queen or king of your jungle? Number 17, stay close to the fire. I love this, staying close to the fire. So you want to stay close to the fire because you want to be around those people that bring out the best in you. You want to stay close to the fire because you want to stay close to the tribe, your tribe. You want to stay close to the fire because you want to stay close to what lights you up and what fires you up. You want to stay close to the fire because that keeps building that fire within you. You want to stay close to that fire because you want to keep that fire burning within you. And you want to become that fire. So you want to be close to that fire. You want to mix with the right people, right? Surround yourself with the right team. Go to the events that bring out the best in you. Go to the events that make you thrive. Go to the events that help you learn. Go to the events that help you grow. Go to the events that help you evolve. Go to the events where you can mix with like-minded people that are on the same path as you. Go to the events that have people that have been there before and they're just a bit further down the track and they can show you the way. Go to those events, right? Because if you keep going to those types of events and you keep having that fire burning within you, that motivates you, that excites you, that lights you up, right? You can feel it burning inside. Like I can feel, like I was saying before about the lion inside me, I can feel that lion. It's, it's roaring, ready to go, right? It's roaring every day inside of me. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's go after these big dreams. Let's go after these big goals, right? So stay close to that fire. Stay close to what lights you up. You may not physically be able to be with the people all the time that you want to be with, but we have access to do that via video, podcast, right? Programs. Be close to that fire. Put yourself in a position where you can be around those people that are going to help you and take you along that path that you want to go. Be that confident person you want to be. Go and accomplish your dreams and goals. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'd love it if you would share with me like what you like best about what you heard today. And always remember this: dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams. Take care. Talk soon. Bye for now.